acreditar. Doce é sonhar é pensar que você gosta de mim como eu de você. Mas a ilusão quando se desfaz dói no coração de quem sonhou demais. Ah, se eu pudesse entender o que dizem esses olhos.
Okay, the Brazilian stock market went public Friday, the Bovespa, and it raised almost $4 billion in this red-hot Latin American market. Raised a lot more than they thought they were. It was up 18%. They could also give us traders a peek into what kind of deals exchanges will be making. With all the technology and modernization around the world, it has turned these broker associations into for-profit groups with an eye for an expansion.
That they're not voting rights. Some people don't care about that. And then, for instance, in the case of Rio, which is traded, their symbol down here for that is VALE, and they have 3s, 4s, 5s, and 6s. A little confusing, but it has to do with the voting rights, whether you want them or not. So it's very interesting. And they take turns talking to retail investors that come in here, and it's the perfect pitch. They got all this equipment up here. They got their volume. They trade about.
Is the average daily volume is $2.4 billion a day versus 310 in just the last 5 years. So in 5 years, they went from $310 million to $2.4 billion. So you can see the trajectory of these Latin American markets. What we are watching here is a 3D presentation setup. You walk into the exchange, they give you these glasses, you get to watch a stock ownership society, a retail basis. So that should be interesting.
So becoming involved in the stock market as an investor is an opportunity to take part in developing the country, and one that is open to every Brazilian. The more people invest in the companies, the more these companies grow, and the more new jobs will be created.
A couple buildings away from the Bovespa is the Bolsa de Mercadoria and Futuros, or BM&F for short, who are planning to do an IPO as well. Just this last Thursday, the Chicago Merc, or the CME, said that they will acquire 10% of this market for a 2% stake in the CME. Now that swap deal is valued at $700 million. Just this year, the New York Stock Exchange and Euronext did a deal that formed a company that's in 6 countries and worth $20 billion. And that's traded under the symbol NYX. And it's also a symbol that the option monster has been following for some time.
And then if you go over to the side here, you'll see that this is the interest rate, which most of your contracts are interest rate related here, not so much the mini contracts that they can actually trade. They're astounding about as far as volumes, up 78% just this year alone in the last 3 years. This market is basically its infancy. It's been here since 2000. They've only been around 7 years. They haven't gone public yet. They'll probably go public in about 3, 4, 5 months before the end of the year. And we just saw the merger of the two markets up in Chicago. I would say that this is probably one of the hottest markets going right now, because they're doing ethanol contracts, they're doing sugar, and of course your interest rates are going to BM&F, Brazil markets are up, Latin American markets are up 30% just this year alone. And over the last 3 years, they're up over 60%. So I was joking around up there. I said, if I was 25 years old again, I would get a plane ticket, I would come down here to Brazil, Sao Paulo, I'd get an apartment, and I would start calling customers back in the States, because it's also advantageous for U.S. investors to invest in this market right now, because they don't get taxed on the capital gains. There's a tax coming in and a tax going out, but they're making it very